Well then, we're going to start the video slightly differently today. That coffee is bloody delicious, especially after another Chelsea win. Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to the George Benson football channel. Brighton 1, Chelsea 2. It is 4 consecutive Premier League wins on the spin. The 6 things we learned video that went out straight after the game was one of the best of the season, in my opinion. The energy that I feel right now about Chelsea, I'm going to say it here. I think Chelsea are back. I think what we have seen this season, we are ending on such a high. Yes, we've still got to get something against Bournemouth. I think we will. But the end of this season has been so great. I'm confident when I look at the players that we've got, when I look at how things have changed, and we're going to talk about Pochettino, going to talk about Boehly's comments and what I think for next season in this video today based on that Brighton game. But I genuinely think Chelsea have arrived. I think under this new ownership, there's been a lot of scrutiny, but I think now is our time. If you're not yet subscribed to the George Benson football channel, we're creeping towards 300,000 Chelsea fans, which is mad. I'd love to hit it before the American preseason tour. And smack a like on this video if you have got the same optimism that I am feeling right now. Don't get me wrong, there's never anything in life that is perfect. Man City, they're about to win a 4th league in a row, but they've got to wait till the last day to do it, so it's not perfect. Chelsea are under a different process, under a new ownership, and I want to talk about Boehly's even more recent now. Has gone and done a talk in Qatar, so we're going to talk about a couple of the things that he has been saying. But I first of all want to eat a slice of humble pie, because this is what I always want to happen. People just seem to think, well, you must be gutted that Pochettino... How is that even possibly the mantra and the mindset here? My priority is always Chelsea. I've loved this club since I was brought into this world. My dad used to go home and away games all the time. I was born, he gets responsibilities, can't go as often, but the moment I was old enough, he was taking me to Stamford Bridge and I fell in love with Chelsea Football Club. And the success of this club is something that I've been so blessed to be a part of. As in terms of like growing up, Chelsea were pretty good in the late 90s. Roman Abramovich comes over and wow, beyond your wildest imagination, beyond your wildest dreams as a football fan, to see your team win European Cups, Premier Leagues, FA Cups, League Cups. We've been so lucky. So lucky. So for me, it's always been about keeping Chelsea on that pedestal that they've created for me. I want Chelsea to be successful. And the slice of humble pie is that I didn't believe for 1 second that we could be successful again with Pochettino as the manager. And now I'm sitting here in this chair and I'm more than happy to say it, guys. I'm sorry. Maybe I got it wrong. But at the same time, I'm also conscious that it is only 4 wins in a row. But I genuinely have a belief now that I can back Pochettino without it just being, oh, well, we should back him because there's no one better. Or, oh, we should back him because, you know, maybe he's going to come good. I think my issues with Pochettino, I stand by. But now it's obviously changed because that's what football is. Results change opinions. And only results should change opinions. And Pochettino said that in his pre-match press conference. My issue with him was that in the press conferences, I feel as though it was so robotic. And he was saying against all of the things that we as fans were looking at when we watched us play. I feel as though he was too passive. I don't feel as though he had self-confidence in the team and in himself to get something out of the team. Tactically, I thought this season at times Chelsea have looked void of ideas. Yes, it's a young squad, but how long do you take that as like, right, okay, it's a young squad, excuse. Yes, there's been injuries, but eventually, you've got to make something work. It has started to work. Since we lost to Arsenal, Chelsea drew with Aston Villa, won 2 London derbies emphatically, and have gone to 2 really tricky away grounds, Nottingham Forest and Brighton, and beaten them. And across all of this, we are winning when we're not playing well, Forest. We are grinding out results and playing well, Brighton. We're destroying London rivals. And this is how you change opinions of people. Add on to that, accumulatively, Pochettino in press conferences has just looked like a completely different character. It's as if he saw that the pressure was massively building upon him. Fans were against him. myself included. A lot of people still backed him, which credit to you if you did. But I would say this, Pochettino has come across a bit sarcastic, and I like that. I like sarcastic people because I can be that myself. And he looks as though he's built up this little arrogance where maybe it was very much a, well, I've got nothing to lose here. You know, like people aren't backing me. Maybe the club aren't backing me. I back myself. And credit to him, he's done that the whole season. He's backed himself. And I think that is the slice of humble pie that I'm willing to eat and consume. Because to be fair, I didn't expect it. I didn't see it happening. But now I'm seeing a Chelsea team that I get excited about. Literally, when I woke up yesterday, which is weird for me because I'm 7 hours ahead of the UK. So, like, I wake up at 2 a.m. to watch Chelsea games and then my day begins at 2. Hence why I've got the coffee now. So I woke up and I was like, I'm flipping buzzing for this. I'm so excited to watch my team play, which weirdly, I watch Chelsea play every day. I watch Chelsea play even if we lost every game, I'd still watch. But it was the first time in the build-up to this game where I'm actually buzzing for it. Brighton as well, like it's not a rivalry for us. It feels like one for them. They were booing Cucurella, booing Caicedo. But for them, it means something. And to beat them then makes it mean something for us. But Pochettino has changed things here. And I think that swagger that he seems to be carrying is being transmitted to the Chelsea players who are playing now with a confidence. You can see that we're not just reacting to things in games. And I think there is an element here where world-class players create actions and they're not reactionary. Cole Palmer is that. Christopher Nkunku is that, off the top of my head, those two. But everybody now seems to know a lot more about what's going on around them. Moises Caicedo looks like the best flipping CDM in the league. He's absolutely fantastic. He's such a great player. We know that, but he's finally showing it. Gallagher is still putting in so much flipping work. Trevoh Chalobah, what a centre-back. What a centre-back this guy is. And every single player out there is playing with so much confidence. And that is why I'm willing to sit here now, even before the Bournemouth game, and say to you that I personally now change my mind. And everyone can do this, guys. I don't know why people get so anti that football is a sport that changes week on week. You lose, you're sad. You win, you're happy. And we're talking about a whole season here almost, bar one game. I think we should stick with Pochettino next year. I'm seeing more than enough right now that the players back him and they're starting to get his ideas. So don't change it. We're at a point right now where Chelsea haven't had stability. But you give Pochettino a couple of the players that he really wants. Obviously, we're going to have sales. Maybe some of them he doesn't want to happen. But I think he's got enough right now to work with that can make this Chelsea team competitive. And I want to talk at the end of this video about next season. But let's talk a little bit here about Todd Boehly's comments, because he's done an interview in Qatar. And this is a Fabrizio Romano tweet here. We are not spending the money. We are investing the money. When we are spending, we are investing. And those players continue to hold their value. I argue the investments made at Chelsea have held their value. This comment, if it would have came out a month ago, would have made Todd Boehly look a little bit stupid. But as of right now, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what? There is an element of truth here about what you're saying, because an investment is something that you put the money in and you say goodbye. I'm not going to see you tomorrow. I will see you in a year, 2 years, 3 years, because then the value of it is going to be worth me, taking it out. In this case, it could be taking it out in the case of selling these players for a higher value to make the club money, or taking it out means the investment pays off because we start to win. And I genuinely think here that there is a lot of truth in what Todd Boehly is saying. And a lot of people, myself included, we've spent a lot of time hyper-analysing all of the things that have been said within the club about the new owners or from the new owners. But I would say right now, what Todd Boehly is saying here yesterday in his interview in Qatar is actually looking truthful on the field. And look, I don't think at any point Todd Boehly or the new owners have wanted to come in and sabotage Chelsea. They've got some of the best business minds in the world helping them run this football club. And these guys, Todd Boehly isn't a billionaire because he woke up in the morning and got lucky. He had to graft. And I don't think at any point, as much as there's been comments that have been made that have made him look stupid, as much as some of the investments that we're talking about here may not be as good and as making sense as we'd want them to, But Chelsea sit with a chance here to finish 5th in the league, with a chance to finish in a Europa League spot, which is 100% progress from what we had last season. Todd Boehly then goes on to say here, anything really good takes a little bit of time. Chelsea co-owner Todd Boehly tells fans to be patient, saying he's learned from past experience to ignore all the noise. Look, and this is the thing here. We can all have our opinions on Pochettino. We can all have our opinions on the new owners, and we can hyperanalyze every signing, every in-club decision. Look, I don't like the idea of Lawrence Stewart and Paul Winstanley remaining at Chelsea, but if we keep winning on the field, you're not going to hear me barking on about it as long as we win. And Todd Boehly has been saying in these recent interviews that the goal and the aim is to have Chelsea winning. And I don't for 1 second think that they ever wanted anything other than Chelsea winning, but maybe taking over a massive football club requires a bit of a teething period. And I think it's easier for me to say it now because we've just won again. We've beaten Brighton. We've just won 4 in a row. We're actually seeing tangible things that we can take as fans and be like, I back this, I support this, and I believe in this. And I think it's taken so long this season to get to a position where we can actually look and be like, I believe in this team again. I believe in this manager. And I think it's really taken me 37 games to genuinely sit here with any real conviction and say, I actually believe in this Chelsea team. And I think now when we look forward to next season, this is a massive summer for Chelsea. We've laid the foundations. We have got an incredibly young team. The aim of these owners has been to have a young side that can play together for many years on long contracts. And I'm taking little parts of quotes here and just making it my own. But at the end of the day, we're starting to see that a lot of these young players actually have so much quality. And as long as we don't continue to just spice it up with young players or add extras as just young players, if we bring leadership, experience and balance into this squad, then I really think we have got something to work with. If we think about the Premier League as a whole, there's 115 charges hanging above Manchester City. Look, I don't know what's going to happen with that. Probably nothing. Man City will be brilliant until Pep Guardiola leaves the club. And I think to expect that Chelsea next season to go and win the title, I think it's nonsense until Pep Guardiola leaves. Mikel Arteta is building something at Arsenal. Aston Villa have not had Champions League football since goodness knows how bloody long. They're going to struggle with that, I think, similarly to what we saw with Newcastle. Newcastle, they've got FFP issues. They can't just spend all of that money with those incredibly rich owners. Liverpool, they have got to deal with having a new manager, Arne Slot. Is it going to work? Is the Klopp hangover going to be so big that Liverpool struggle? Will they lose Salah? Will they lose big players? Spurs. Let me take another sip of coffee before I choke. Spurs are Spurs, isn't it? At the end of the day, there is definitely an upward trajectory here at Chelsea. Expected and also visible for the human eye to see. You can see in this end of season form that Chelsea are going somewhere. We don't just have overpaid, long contract rubbish players. We don't. It's not true. Caicedo is looking like a £100 million midfielder. Christopher Nkunku was always world-class. He's injured. Cole Palmer has become a world-class footballer. I think the building blocks are absolutely there. And I think whether or not if we lose to Bournemouth and somehow end up finishing 7th here, this would be a disaster. But it wouldn't undo these last 5 games and what I have seen to believe that going forward, we're going somewhere. We've just got to make sure now that we do everything in our power to secure the best European football for next season that we can. These young players will absolutely thrive in the Europa League, a competition that Chelsea have only ever won. So in order for us to continue to back these owners, we have got to be in the most competitions possible to give us the biggest opportunities possible to keep winning. You do that, and we're no longer worried and wishing that Roman Abramovich was still here. Because if Chelsea are winning, we are winning. That is all that matters to me, and hopefully all that matters to you too. So, next season, what do I think is going to happen? Let's see what happens after Bournemouth, but I genuinely think Chelsea next season have to finish in a Champions League spot. Then, we're talking about 2 years in a row of progress. I'm not going to sit here and say to you I think we're going to win the league because City and Arsenal are so clear above everybody else. Something crazy would need to happen. Or we actually believe in ourselves. And we use this end of season to prove to ourselves that we can compete at the very top of this league. And if we beat Bournemouth and sign a couple of quality players and see a bit of balance across the squad during this window, best believe I'm coming here with the belief that we could do something next year, because I'm seeing it right now from Chelsea. Our captain got sent off in this game against Brighton, which is obviously frustrating. It's gutting. You don't want to see that happen. It's petulant. And Reece James has that in him. And he'll miss the start of next season as well, because it's a straight red card, which is a 3-game ban within the competition in which you're sent off in. But look, Gusto is fantastic. That's the great thing. We're getting a squad here. We're getting players in all positions that are either brilliant cover or stand alone by themselves as class footballers. And I'm really starting to believe. I'm really starting to see it, and I hope you guys are too. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed to the George Benson Football channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks for all the love and support recently. The channel is doing so well right now. And yeah, I'm putting the work in. You guys are loving it back. So that's all I can ask for. Thank you very much. Come on, you Blues.